Hi everyone, welcome back to Writer's Dream Coach, where I teach authors the mindset needed to be successful, prolific, and profitable. I'm Frauke Möbius, German coach, therapist, EFT practitioner, and author. And I know exactly how it feels when you run into problems and blocks and fears and doubts. And today I want to start a little series on beginnings. Because beginnings, like many other areas in the field of writing, but beginnings create a particular set of fears. And the first one that I want to talk about today is the fear of, I don't know how. I'm very familiar with that. Not so much in the field of writing, but very much in the field of other whatever things. I mean, I've had my meltdowns about learning new tech, about learning new systems, about learning new ways of thinking, even learning new languages too. So this thing, this self-doubt, this very real feeling of I don't know how, really can block potential authors. It mostly blocks those who have a story in their mind and can't bring it out. And personally, I think that is very sad because our world needs stories. Yes, there are millions of stories on Amazon, but we still need new stories. And we need your story because you have a unique point of view and there's only one of you in this entire world. We need the stories, especially if they take residence in your brain, in your mind. They take energy. They sort of hold you in their thrall, and you can't get it out because you just feel that you're not, I don't know, adequate enough to be an author, to be qualified enough to write. And I don't mean that you don't know how to use a word processor. I mean, Word, LibreOffice, even if that's too difficult, you can still write on a legal pad. I mean, seriously. You can't write, okay, that'll be another starting point. But among my listeners, you're probably in a minority. And even then, I can help you overcome mindset limitations that keep you from learning how to write. That's an aside. I don't want to make fun out of people who can't read or write. I believe you can learn it. You just haven't found the right teacher. Anyway, now you can go and buy tons of writing guides. You can, there's millions of them. And they can be helpful, and they can also be very confusing. And they can set you up with expectations that'll make it even harder for you to simply sit down and write. Now, there are two things you need to know. First of all, there is such a thing called a shitty first draft. That means everyone's first version of a story usually is not letter perfect unless you have an incredible amount of experience. Most people rework the first version of their novel. They improve it. That's another trap, by the way. Don't get stuck in that process. But don't ever demand perfectionism from yourself, especially not with that first story. Okay? So you have permission to write a shitty first draft. And second, you will only get better by writing. And I know this. I mean, you can spend the next 5 years reading one guidebook after the other. You will not know how to write better. Writing is a craft. And like all crafts, it takes practice to master. And the best way of getting good fast is getting a lot of practice. What I mean with that is Start your story today. I'm serious. Take a timer, set aside 30 minutes, and start your story today. It doesn't matter what you write. It matters that you write. And then make it a habit to write every day. It could be for 10 minutes. You could set yourself a limit like 300 or 500 or 1,000 words. But make writing a daily activity and a source of fun. That'll sustain you because you will find out that your first story may not be good. You know what happened to me when I started writing? That was in the year 2000. I still remember that. I woke up with a scene in my mind, and it was the first scene that did not have any serious heroes in it or any, novel heroes that I'd read about. It was completely and entirely a scene of my own, with my own characters. That was a little weird. And it was even weirder that they didn't go away. So eventually, after carrying that around for 2 or 3 weeks, I did what I have done before, except that the times before it was just basically fan fiction and I never counted it as writing. But I sat down and started writing, and I wrote. First, I wrote a little thing, I had to get my characters in place for the scene that I had in mind. So I started, writing and getting them in the place where I hadn't seen them. And I got to know them, and I found names. And when I finally got where I wanted to be, I had written 30 pages. I don't know how many words that was. 30 pages. And it dawned on me that there was going to be something bigger. And in fact, I wrote like a mad woman for the next 3 years. I finished 2 novels. I started 4 more. They are in various stages of completion. And then I went on to do other stuff, and I wrote other stuff, and I had an agency in between, and I ditched the agency again, and I published a number of short stories, and I read a lot, and I wrote more, and I started self-publishing in 2013. And I actually have gone back and looked at those 5.5 novels. And no, they are not good. They aren't. They're basically, I have to look at them and see how many thousand words it was. Easily 500,000 words or something. And they're not good. This was basically my apprentice work. And it was fun, and it was very satisfying, and I might eventually publish them with revision. But it's more fun to do something new, so I don't know. Give yourself permission to write a shitty first draft. Stick it into your drawer, or back it up like, USB sticks, external hard drives, whatever. Back it up, keep it safe somewhere. You can even mail it to yourself through a Gmail address or something. And keep writing. Write the next one. If you're really brave, and I'm writing that below as well, if you're really brave and you look at your novel like half a year later and you still like it and you still think it's going to be okay, well, brush it up a little, send it out, see what the responses are. And most of all, keep reading in your genre. Keep being aware of what's going on in your genre. Stay aware of the major devices in storytelling within your genre. Like if you write fantasy like I do, you need to be aware of urban fantasy, of steampunk, of epic sword and sorcery, that kind of stuff. You need to know how dragons work, or are supposed to work, and then you can tweak it. You need to know about elves and orcs and goblins and gremlins and whatnot. Because if you get that wrong, readers will be unhappy with your story, no matter how good it is. So you need to be aware of what's going on in your genre. So reading is part of your job as an author. And it'll help you find your voice, and it'll help you find you can kind of learn storytelling a bit like osmosis. From like osmosis, you can soak it up from the stories that you like if you kind of become a little bit aware of the craft, which again means that you need to start writing so you can be more aware of what you actually need for your craft. But do write. Give yourself permission for that shitty first draft, and you have it from me. I'm giving you permission to write, no matter how good it turns out to be. And write more, and write every day, and have fun with it, for heaven's sake. Writing is not a get-rich-quick scheme, unless you plan to scam, and then I don't want to talk to you. No, if you want to have fun and be a real author, you're going to put your heart and blood into your stories. You're going to put your emotions into them, and you're going to put your experience and knowledge into them. But this is only going to happen if you write. So now go forth, start that file, and write. And it doesn't matter how you start it, because it all can be edited. You just can't edit a blank page. So write and have fun. And I'll talk about the first sentence next week. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.